Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus Channel. In the early 1970s, there was a cooperative effort between the United States and the United Kingdom to improve the tactical operations of the first generation AV-8B Harrier. The idea is to combine tactical mobility and responsiveness, reduce operating costs, and increase the flexibility of the aircraft. To this end, the AV-8B was created to replace the first generation AV-8A by incorporating a new wing, an elevated cockpit, a redesigned fuselage, one extra hardpoint per wing, and other structural and aerodynamic refinements. The AV-8B is a vertical takeoff and landing VTOL aircraft that is well suited to the special combat and expeditionary requirements of the Marine Corps. It made its maiden flight in November 1981. Pilots driving the aircraft's mission to attack and destroy surface and air targets are usually rigorously trained and live everyday lives based on pushing their tolerance limits. Everything about the training is undoubtedly hard, as they are drilled on air-to-surface tactics, including dive bombing, strafing, target area mechanics, and close air support. During training, the crew conducts aircraft maintenance, mission planning, and execution, with the pilots being meant to experience the Harrier's full potential. The pilots are also trained to use the aircraft's weapon systems with precision while maintaining accuracy and safety for possible future engagements. For better navigation, the aircraft has forward-looking infrared and night vision goggles. The cockpit is completely integrated for operation during the day and at night, and it is furnished with heads-up and head-down displays, a digital moving map, and an inertial navigation system. Additionally, it includes an improved targeting pod that gives pilots the ability to locate and recognize opposing forces in difficult terrain. This jet has been in service for decades and has proven its lethality and endurance in various operations requiring air support. Notably, one of the strengths of the Harrier is its vertical landing capabilities, which combine the best aspects of a helicopter by providing vertical landing despite the high speed of the jet. During its vertical landing procedure, the aircraft hovers at a point and comes down vertically on that point. It can also perform vertical takeoffs, using an enormous amount of thrust to hover like a helicopter before zooming out of range extremely quickly. This capability is based on its Pegasus turbofan engine with 4 thrust vectoring exhaust nozzles, with each nozzle using a rotating cascade of vanes to direct the thrust from a horizontal direction for fast flight to a vertical direction for hovering and vertical landing. During landing, the weight of the aircraft is supported by the landing gear, which consists of the shock absorber, wheel, brake system, and a host of other parts that serve as the structures that support the wheel. In the rare event of malfunctioning landing gear, the pilot will pull the power back to slow down the aircraft so as not to overspend the landing gear while simultaneously communicating with the necessary personnel to remedy the situation. Impressively, the AV-8B's vertical landing capability allows controlled landing even with a failed gear using the crash cradle installed on the flight deck. The crash cradle is a unique piece of equipment that is built to the height of the Harrier's nose and provides a way of bringing the 30,000-pound aircraft down. On landing, the nose of the aircraft will come down forcefully on the bench and be hard enough to bounce several times before coming to a rest. This procedure is incredible but risky, since it is not always the first choice to bring the airplane back after a failed nose gear, especially with the proliferation of ejection seat aircraft. To prevent such occurrences and for the general upkeep of the aircraft's functions, the AV-8B usually undergoes a series of maintenance procedures in accordance with a predetermined schedule. This maintenance routine, which is carried out on the hangar bay of the carrier's deck on the sea, includes assembling a lanyard for the heat shield around the motor of the aircraft and general electrical maintenance on the wing panel. The process also includes corrosion checks and control of jam nuts on a bomb rack. There are several other less complicated maintenance procedures that are also carried out. These processes include, but are not limited to, checking the hydraulic levels of the systems, replacing the oil filters, and using computerized indicators to aid in the process. More recently, the F-35B has been found to have superior technological advancements than the AV-8B. In fact, it has been touted as a replacement for the AV-8B Harrier in the Marine Corps' inventory. Both aircraft can land vertically, but the F-35B provides long-range supersonic speed, combines advanced sensors and mission systems with low observable stealth technology, and can transport advanced weapons. Combining its integrated sensors, sensor fusion, and data linking give the pilot unprecedented situational awareness. It is operated by one Pratt & Whitney F135 turbofan engine and has a length and height of 51.1 feet and 14.3 feet respectively. It can typically carry air-to-air missiles and 2 bombs in its internal weapon bay. The F-35B can accelerate past the speed of sound in flight, then make a vertical landing in very close quarters, enabling it to function from various air-capable ships and austere and short-field bases. It is a multi-role machine that can simultaneously conduct air-to-surface, electronic warfare, intelligence gathering, and air-to-air missions. The F-35B has a lift fan behind the cockpit and an engine that can swivel 90 degrees in short takeoff and vertical landing mode. This provides most of the equalizing lift of up to 40,000 pounds of vertical thrust needed to balance the F-35B. This helps to control its center of gravity and gives it a controllable attack angle. The F-35B also uses the energy generated by its single engine and has a swiveling jet pipe that allows it to rotate 95 degrees in about 2.5 seconds, while redirecting the engine thrust downward. The F-35B is one of 3 variants of the F-35 class, which is the world's most lethal, resilient, and connected fighter jet, giving pilots a competitive advantage over any enemy. The other variants are the F-35A and the F-35C, which have similar performance characteristics and advanced avionics. Training students to become fighter pilots is quite rigorous and time-consuming. A student typically spends 4 years in the aviation academy before embarking on the actual pilot training, which is just over a year long. After which, some students can be selected to participate in an Introduction to Fighter Fundamentals, which is around 8 weeks long. Then there is a B course that can last 7 to 9 months before getting a pass to join an operational squadron. Simulator training is one of the most efficient ways to train aspiring pilots, since training saves lives and simulation saves money. The F-35 students are training on the full mission simulator, which can be used with distributed mission training to allow pilots to train together in a shared virtual environment, all in real time. Multiple aircraft platforms are used in these large force exercises to prepare for joint, cross-domain operations. With the FMS, the students can safely complete much of their required training virtually, including a broad range of air-to-air, air-to-ground, and electronic warfare missions. The FMS uses the existing aircraft software to accurately replicate all sensors and weapons employed with the F-35 software, providing the students with the most realistic experience possible. The F-35's pilot wears a unique helmet that is a technological wonder. Over the course of 2 days, a helmet fitting facility custom fits each helmet to its pilot. Before helmet assembly can begin, pilots' heads are measured and scanned to ensure they fit perfectly. Pilots must use a pupillometer to align the optics after assembly, so they see a single image on display mounted to their helmet. The complexity of this process and the helmet's efficiency enable pilots to track targets without continually looking away from their cockpit screens, because the helmet can display thermal images, night vision, and video from below the jet. This enables them to see everything around them without the need to tilt the fighter jet. It also has a pupillometer that accurately measures a person's pupillary distance to within 2 millimeters of its center. Indeed, pilots can access mission-critical data and acquire better situational awareness of the battlefield on display by just moving their heads. The ability to use the VTOL capability of fighter jets cannot be overemphasized. Thus, it is not surprising that military personnel are trained in the most rigorous ways to utilize this feature and other technologically advanced equipment to aid the military's mission of protecting its territory and warding off enemies. That's the end of this video. Make sure to subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you in our next video.